Hi everybody, it's Mallory Smythe with Endow. Something that you'll learn about me pretty quickly upon meeting me is that I love history and I love biographies. I think oftentimes people's lives are stranger than fiction, and history really does repeat itself. So whether I'm reading about 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago, I'm really reading about how to deal with my present day culture. So most recently, I finished up a book on the life of Winston Churchill. And it was incredibly fascinating, and there were a few takeaways that I learned about his life that I wanted to share with you. The first is Churchill said to somebody when he was a teenager that he thought he would become prime minister one day and that he would be the man to lead Britain through a dark time. He had his entire life, he joined the military, he escaped prison from being a prisoner of war. He had a political career in which he was hated. People did not like him. His peers thought he was self-serving and ambitious. And he was so unpopular, in fact, that whenever he, 9 years before he became prime minister, he was actually completely out of office. But as World War II started to approach, he was the man that was able to see through Hitler. And then in his mid-60s, right, a lifetime after he predicted that he'd be prime minister, he became prime minister, and he was the man who was needed to lead Great Britain and Europe and America through World War II. It took him a lifetime to become a man of such greatness that was needed in that time during World War II. And that's really the first thing that I learned, is that in our society of instant gratification, if we would have looked at his life unfinished, we would have said he was a failure. He had this goal, he didn't reach it. And yet some goals are so incredible that it takes a person who is so great that we need to spend a lifetime becoming that person. And that's really what a saint is, right? A saint is a person so great that we have to spend our entire life becoming that person. We have to spend our entire life walking with God, allowing Him to work through us, allowing Him to pick us up whenever we fall, so that we become as holy as He desires us to be. And so that's really the first thing that I learned listening to this. And the second thing that I learned is that we oftentimes think that people don't change the world, or that we can't change the world, right? People don't single-handedly change the world. And yet, as I listen to all these biographies, it's only people who single-handedly change the world, right? It's people of great soul or great vision, and then other people latch onto that and come alongside them, and change starts to happen. It can be done for great good, such as a man like Winston Churchill or the founding fathers, or it can be for great evil, such as Hitler or Stalin. But it's people who change things. And so God is calling me, and He's calling you to be somebody who single-handedly changes culture and single-handedly changes the world. And that doesn't mean that there's going to be a 53-hour book written about me or you, but it does mean that there is a yes that God is asking you to say. There's a step that He's asking you to take. Because you saying yes and you taking that step could single-handedly change the church in your area or change the city that you live in. We just have to believe that it can be done. And so if you want to learn more about the people of the church or the history of our church, which is just history in general, I'd invite you to learn more about Endow at www.endowgroups.org. You can connect with me at Mallory A. Smythe on Facebook and Instagram, and you connect with Endow at Endow Groups on Facebook and Instagram. But I invite you to become that person every single day who can reach the greatness that the world needs, and to say yes to being that person that the world needs. Have a great week.